Namaste, beloved ones. Welcome to Soul Mirrors, and be amazed. I really, with all my heart and soul, want to first welcome all of you who are joining us worldwide at so many different beautiful locations, whether you're listening in at tfrlive.com, over at onenesstalkradio.com, over at YouTube at Official Shri and Kira, out there on all of the affiliates, iHeartRadio, Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio. Thank you for being here now. And as we are here right now, please bring a hand to your heart, because there was so much happening today. I made notes because there was just too much going on. And each week when these shows come together, it's always such a magical moment for me personally, because when I have the blessing of seeing how guests flow in, usually several months in advance, the topics that come forward seem to just randomly seem to be perfect for that moment. And tonight, it was really clear that given the energy of October and where we are right now, that it was a profound moment to talk about our beliefs, our dogmas, and our spell casting. What are we really co-creating? And in this month of coming full circle, and if you have not watched the predictions video that Shri and I put out on YouTube at Official Shri and Kira for this month, please do. And please get the word out. Help us get the word out. Let more people find those videos. We are at this really profound month of experience that is inviting each of us into a depth of, if not now, when, and if not you, who recognition. And these two energies are right together. They cannot be separated. Well, one of the other things that we shared about the month of October was that this was going to be a very big month of one energy. And it was going to start October 1. It's going to culminate on the 31st when we begin the Mercury retrograde. We're going to have these moments around the 10-10 because of this 19-year cycle culmination. But my angels, I have to admit, even I was not prepared for how intensely this month was starting. Now, I want to first open up by sharing that many of you responded to an email that was sent out today to our community of Self-Ascension. And if you are on our newsletter list, thank you for receiving that email. If you are not on our newsletter list, get on it. It's free. You can register at shriandkira.com. Our beloved Sue Sturdivant, who has been our assistant. Shri, how long has Sue been our assistant? 8 years? Maybe about 8 years. My husband, Shri, is my producer, where he's over there doing his producing thing, was needed to be sent in for a surgery that was really very much an emergency type surgery today. And we had known this was coming. When Sue arrived here in Ecuador, I immediately noticed something. And the day she got here, already had her scheduled for an MRI the next day. And so we've been aware that this had to happen. We've been navigating this behind the scenes during our cosmic events process. And it culminated with today being the day that this massive tumor needed to come out of her neck. And I thank all of you who have been sending your emails to Sue. Tonight, I am sharing that you did co-create the first miracle of the day. Hint, it's not the only one. And what was so beautiful was that I actually started crying when my beloved Shri wrote me, telling me that the surgery actually was completed in half the time they anticipated. This is due to you guys, because we had timed the e-card to go out to all of our community exactly as Sue was being wheeled into the operating room. And I literally hung up with Shri from a FaceTime as they came to get her when we went ahead and hit send on that e-card. And your immediate outpouring and holding her has created another bona fide miracle. So tonight she is resting comfortably in the hospital. Sue will not be available to be with us for a few days. She might be on our call Saturday for the miracle team. I'm not sure, but I just bow before all of you for thanking to co-create that miracle. The next thing I want to share today is that many of you might already now be reading the reports that I believe are being generated on the news. I'm having people starting to send me emails about what's happening here in our beloved Ecuador. Today, unbeknownst to Shri and I, when Shri set out at 7 o'clock this morning, or excuse me, 6 o'clock this morning to bring Sue to the hospital, a nationwide strike was declared because of new austerity measures that were just put in place here. And this is not the format for me to talk about that, other than to say my heart is with the gente. And my beloved husband, who took Sue to the hospital. I had to stay home, thank goodness. Got stuck in these riots on the way home. And the riots that you're hearing about on TV, if you are hearing about it, some people have written very, very preoccupied and worried about what's happening here. Honestly, it's pretty calm. They light a tire. I know it sounds crazy, but they light a tire and then they all stand around and talk about how mad they are. And they don't really do much else about it. There are some outbreaks happening in the capital city of Quito because this is a heated political moment. They are not unlike political unrest that you are going to see anywhere else in the world. However, my husband was inconvenienced, and what could have taken 45 minutes home, and we have photos we'll be showing and sharing more during our shows on Saturday, wound up being about a six-hour ordeal. And during that one moment, Shri was in a very dangerous space where there was all of the right components for things to have gone wrong. And because of reaching out to all of you this morning about Sue, I just could not reach out to all of you again. And I must admit that holding that in that moment for my beloved as well, and also that the people of Ecuador would find their hearts, was very challenging. So what happened? I sent out an email to a few beloved, dear, close friends of mine who rallied to this moment. And I thank you and bow with all my heart, because here's the reason I'm sharing all of this with you, my loves, as we open the show this evening and get ready to bring on our extraordinary guest. This was yet another pop or drop moment for Sue, for Shri, and for me. And how many more of these will each of us be facing this month? And especially remember that October is one big cycle. So I feel very, very grateful. And let me just walk you through my little process today. Having just gone through all of this with Sue this morning, and having walked through Sue with this since she's been here, and then of course doing the extraordinary Cosmic Origins event and all of the amazing Atlantean healing chambers, leading to today, I was feeling vulnerable. I was feeling really tired. And it was really a big moment, a big energy. And so when this whole thing erupted around Shri at first, I honestly went into density with it and saw how quickly I could have fallen. It was so evident. And it got to the point where when after I reached out to all of my dear ones, my final line in there was, and may we create the miracle that we can open the heart of one of the people controlling the blockades of fire, that they will open the blockade so that Shri can get home here to do the work he is meant to do, so that we can help them even more in what they are all trying to accomplish. And I kid you not, guys, that is exactly how Shri got home. Is that at one point he got very, very close, and we had another bridge that was closed, and he saw someone that he knew, that some of you have actually met, who was actually at one of the blockades and in charge of one of them. And he saw Shri, and he understood that Shri needed his medicine, that Shri needed his special protein. Let's not forget that Shri is still recuperating from losing 2 meters of his intestines 4 months ago. So this was getting dangerous. And he literally opened the blockade. Shri had to walk quite a bit because the cars were stopped for miles, guys, but he walked to the blockade. He literally opened the blockade, and he was the only person to walk through the blockade carrying my 2 dogs who were with him, Buster and Briella. And on the other side, he had also arranged for someone who was living on the other side of the blockade to drive him home, or Shri was getting ready to walk 4.5 kilometers to come home today. So I bow before Ra, Zadok, Osiris. Thank you. Thank you for being there and being my rock again. I bow before Monica. Thank you for being an intermediary. I bow before all the beautiful beings that lit candles for us with you in Ohio. And thank you to Sue, who I also shared this with, who wrote me back this afternoon and is already recuperating. So what are we co-creating? Is it our beliefs? Is it our dogmas? Are we spell casting? There's a lot more to share about this. And before we go there, let me introduce my extraordinary co-host this evening. Her name is Rebecca Gregory, and I have had the pleasure of meeting Rebecca and spending quality time with her here at Tosa Blue Mountain, and also had the blessing of being present to assist to attune her at Ingapirka in the Cosmic Doorway when she was here for a Cosmic Origins event. Rebecca has been really one of those champions of spirit her entire life. She is a stubborn, incredible, wisdom-filled woman. And I use the word stubborn with a smile that says it of myself, meaning that her tenacity is boundless. And she carries within her a presence of mastery that is extraordinary. And I know when I first had the privilege of spending time with her in the Violet Ray Shiva Temple, which is actually right below my office here at Tosa Blue Mountain, I was so honored to be in her presence. And then she asked me about a radio show. And I knew we had so much more to do together. So along with all of the other reasons why Rebecca is going to be with us in just about 30 seconds, another reason is because her outrageously perfectly timed show will premiere tomorrow night. And I want you guys to really make a note of this. It is the Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour. I can't think of any better way to spend a Friday night than hanging out with Rebecca at Oneness Talk Radio and having a Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour, right? What a great way to do your Friday. And so without further ado, I want to bring Rebecca in, and she should be with us momentarily. And as she begins to come in with us, I want to also introduce you all to Chelita. And as I'm done introducing you, there is beautiful, beloved Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca, my love, this time I see your beautiful art and your audio is turned off. So I need to see your video, sweetheart, and your audio. You have been promoted to panelist. I'm going to personally unmute you. Okay, there you are. Hi.
Rose.
Hey, we got a bonus art piece. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be here tonight.
Well, yeah, we're excited to be here with you.
Oh my gosh, this is, just so honored to be here with you and everything you've done for me. Just, where I'm coming and what you're talking about right now, calling it forward and stepping in. Perfect timing. I just had my birthday last week, and then I just said, let's start this week of trying to this new beginning of everything, of stepping in and stepping forward. And so here I am, and just excited to be here. And I wanted to say something today about what happened. I was totally oblivious to everything going on in Ecuador. I had no clue. And I know
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and what you were like, Sri might not make it home. So talk about kind of being the clarity and the chaos. I was in complete clarity, having no clue of what was going on today. But yet I knew that everything was going to work out and Sri was going to get home. So it's just interesting concept where we were and where I was. And now we're here together sharing the stories of being in those two spaces at the same time.
It's pretty amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I want to share too that it was really, when I wrote you, remember I wrote you earlier today and I said, look, Rebecca, if Sri doesn't get home, I don't know how to do this, right? This is all him back there. I mean, without Sri producing my show, this would not be. And so I realized it was shortly after I wrote you and I had written someone else. And I thought, wait a minute, I have the power to command this. We all have the power to say enough is enough. And literally it was a profound moment of recognition for me. And I literally sat and was it spell casting? Was it my belief? Was it simply my recognition of mastery? Whatever it was, in that moment, I absolutely commanded the light that the road would be cleared, that the heart of one in the blockade would open and allow him through. And I kid you not, an hour later, I heard his voice walk into my kitchen after I had just finished making a hot meal and could walk up to him, who was going to drop dead from not being nourished, literally with the plate I had just made. I kid you not. So I think it's incredible what we can accomplish because together we are all better.
Oh, that's so true. And that, oh yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way because I had texted you saying everything's going to work out, but I never sent it because I was driving. And I got home and I'm, oh, I got to send this, but you sent, oh, he's home. I'm like, oh.
Yep, everything's okay. And you know, this is one of the things. So I do need to share though, if you hear my dogs furiously barking during the show tonight, because of what's happening here in Ecuador, we live, as you know, in a very little village. And so one of the ways that the villages show solidarity is to send up these very loud fireworks. And so that began about 5 o'clock when they started clearing the blockades because everybody wanted to go home and eat dinner. That's why I'm saying it's just so funny. You know, I'm getting these emails from people and they're like, oh my God, the streets are so dangerous and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, these guys just went home for dinner. It's 5 o'clock, you know, so they literally strike from 9 to 5 and then they go home and eat. So I guess the gift is that every ounce of our worldly experience, right? October experience is inviting us to look at the co-creative capacity that's happening around us. And as I mentioned in our video about the October predictions, October isn't a ready, set, go month. We're in it. It's here. It was dive and breathe and swim and do what you know how to do. And I am really fascinated, maybe is the word, because when I think about your journey and how you came to be and how you've brought yourself where you are now, you've had a series of co-creative moments. Were they beliefs? Were you breaking through dogmas? Were you spell casting? What is the difference? And how did it bring you to where you are now? So I think we need to open up with you, Rebecca. People need to know your story. So tell us about you.
My story, oh my gosh. So yeah, my main story, my story was my whole life, but you know, like 6 years ago was when I was in the corporate world and I had enough. I'm like, there's more to life, there's more to this. What I just need to do something. And I started on my journey and first thing I found was hypnotherapy. So I took the plunge and went to hypnotherapy school. And then it just went from there. I just wanted knowledge and I just kept on traveling. I mean, I've gone down the rabbit hole as deep as the rabbit hole can go. Just opened up with more awareness. I've had so many experiences of, you know, the dogma and, you know, and the belief systems and letting go of those. It's just been the magic of hearing and seeing the magic of me and opening up to that and having moments of death, you know, literally laying where I was deathly ill. Like, should I call and go to the hospital? I was by myself because I had anaphylactic shock and my tongue was swelling up. And I'm like, I can't even deal going to the hospital right now. And I just heard a voice saying, just like, you'll be fine, just work. And I did, I just surrendered at that moment. It was so beautiful. And within 20 minutes, I was completely fine and everything, you know, so I've gone through the ups and downs, the journey of just going to the pits of who I am and looking at it and tracking it and just being honest and coming to the place of the truth into my heart and now ready to share it with the world. So that's, you know, it's and the journey.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, honey.
And the real journey has just begun.
Well, that is really the point, isn't it? And you know, I want to give a shout out to everyone. I do have quite a few people sitting in the phone lines. We will get you. I'm sorry, we did have a moment with the phone call board earlier where we had an internet hiccup, but we are definitely here. And those of you that are on hold, thank you. If those of you, anybody else wants to jump into the phone lines, 517-208-1500, give us a call and jump right in. And I also want to give a shout out to the chat over at Oneness Talk Radio. No, this is not a repeat. We are very live. And that's why we're talking about everything that's happening kind of in real time, but thanks for asking. And Sri, I want to check in. Are we broadcasting at YouTube? Oh, I just got 2 thumbs up. We're broadcasting at YouTube. And so hopefully there's some chat going on over there. I'm not able to monitor that, but maybe my beloved can. And we're just really glad you're all here. Well, you know, okay, Rebecca, so let me throw this at you, okay?
Okay.
I have been really aware of the extraordinary, and I mean extraordinary, parallel shifts that are happening so much that I'm noticing I'm in and out of 2 timelines or 2 dimensions at once. And it's been at times destabilizing and at times very profound. And when we were here with the Cosmic Origins group, a few people that stayed later, we were sitting in the living room, and I kid you not, it was like feeling like, imagine a pulse wave of energy, like it's a wave of energy, and it's rolling in, coming in literally over us. And I watched it, felt it, saw the room color change, saw everything shift. And so I think what's important to be talking about is that we are in a month of experience. And this is it's the last month of experience of this year. So this is a very big month. Plus it's the culmination of a 19-year cycle, right? So we have the 10, 10, and that's why the 10-11 period is going to be very powerful, especially since Mercury is going to start turning then. So here's my question to you. In your co-creative space, in your circle, in your tribe, what are people experiencing? Are you experiencing this, and how are you guys navigating it?
Yes, the parallel wards, going through the shifts and parallels, as a lot of people are telling me about that. Me personally, I had, talking about parallel, but also like time stopping. I had an experience where I was outside and I was watching the moon, under the moon, moon bathing. And all of a sudden I'm like watching the moon and watching the clouds. Well, all of a sudden the clouds weren't moving. And before they were like this. And then I'm like looking around and dropping myself in, and the trees were all blowing. Everything had stopped around me. And I was just in this space of that, that complete just being by myself, and everything around me had literally, the time had literally stopped and stood still. Yeah. And it was such an extraordinary feeling of that. Just, it was eerie, but it wasn't eerie. Yes, but I and a lot of other people have been having experiences I've talked to doing that. And I think that whole shift, and I feel too, that's a lot why a lot of people are having trouble navigating now, because it's like, what's going on? Why am I so tired? Why is this shifting? So it's a whole way of being, of learning to almost ride a bike again and kind of figure out where you want to go and navigate all the worlds that are coming together and everything that's open, expanding, and changing.
Well, you're absolutely right. No, you are absolutely right. Everything has changed. I mean, our world experience has changed as we know it. And that's why we came, right? We came to be here in this moment, to be a part of this. But this is why it is so important to have the conversation about beliefs, dogma, and spellcasting. Because let me share something with you. The other day, I was speaking with an extraordinarily wise, beautiful goddess priestess woman, and she shared a phenomenally fascinating story with me. And I'm going to try and get her on the show with me maybe in January. And she said, Kira, I grew up Pentecostal, and my mom was a missionary, but I've been awake my whole life. And she said, I would watch them praying. I would watch them speaking. And I was wide awake as a little girl going, Mama, no, don't you see? And she said it was all spell casting. And that due to the way that this energy was moving, and this was her firsthand experience from this beautiful little child who has been awake her entire life, who has seen all of the way that the astral energy is doing this. And that energy is influencing the belief systems if we cannot separate ourselves. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron to even use the word, but the key is that we are at a moment where we together, not only we are better, together is the only way we're going to survive, because we are being assaulted. And today I dipped into it, I saw it, I fell for it, and I had a profound popper drop moment around it. And I think this is why we need to have this conversation, because look what dogma is trying to do to the planet right now. It's spiritual activism on steroids, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. The world is, it's just, the only thing that's coming to me is just shifting so much. It's just like keeping up with that. And, what we were talking about, all those changes that are happening and navigating through that. And it is letting go of all that old, like that's not what is anymore. It's like, who do we want to be? Talking about grabbing, who do we want to be? And we have that choice. We have the magic inside of us now to say, hey, this is what I want to, I've been going through this whole thing of like, what do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I desire? I don't have to take that. I don't have to have all that, even like some family members, that are just asleep. I don't have to take that on anymore, family or not. I still love them for who they are, and I respect them for who they are. But you know what? It's time for everyone to step forward in their truth and their truth alone. and not everybody else's truth, because everybody has their own truth.
Exactly.
That truth of you and only you.
Oh, Rebecca, my heart is just loving listening to you. And I'm reminded of the September 22nd Divine Director sharing that, is on our website right now. And that the one they were saying, read this daily, talk about this, because this is exactly what they're talking about, is that we are at this great moment of rare opportunity. And we are all being invited to really stand up and say, I remember who I am, and I'm not going to be afraid of that. What was September all about, right? Taking off that veil of invisibility, seeing the bigger dome of invisibility. I mean, it was a big month. And so this is an opportunity for us to look at, what are we co-creating? And, before we go any further, I just want to give a shout out to all of you over at TFR Live. It looks like we're going to go into commercial in maybe about 30 seconds. We're going to be continuing the show. And as we continue the show, I will try to give you guys a shout out at 7:30 and welcome you back in. But stay with us, because we have a lot of show to discuss here, a lot to unpack. We've got callers standing on which we're going to get to in just a moment. So we love you, TFR Live, and we'll be back with you shortly. So Rebecca, I always call this our 3-minute overtime bonus. So here we are at our 3-minute halftime. I mean, how quickly do these shows fly? Are you blown away?
Oh, yes, they fly by. I'm having so much fun.
It's crazy, right? I know, it's crazy. So here's what I want to do. I want to jump over to our call board, because we have a lot of people in there. But I have to admit, I'm going to just start with one who's right here at the top waiting for us, because she, along with you, what you may not know is behind the scenes. When I opened up the show today, I said, well, there was a few people that I sent some emails to about the Shri situation, you being one of them. Well, Monica was another. And so, hey, Monica, welcome, Angel. It's Kira and Rebecca.
Hi, Monica.
Hello, beloved Kira. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
He's waving in the background, Monica. Hey, honey, I had to hear your voice. Thank you for today.
Oh, well, you said it. Together we are better, and it's the moment to command the light.
Absolutely. And that was the pop or drop moment, right? It's about saying enough with these beliefs that are telling me to be all freaked out, enough with the dogma that's trying to tell you what to think and believe, and enough with anything that makes us think we are less than. We all have within us the power to just sit down and literally command the light when it comes from sincerity, love, and presence, holding only the highest intention. Because the only thing that was held in that moment for me was, may there be one person with a heart big enough that will open up that blockade and let Shri through, so that he can get back here to do the work he needs to do for the highest service of all. And he was back here in 1 hour, Monica. 1 hour.
I think you and Archangel Zadkiel had a lot to do with that, Kira.
Oh. I think we all had a lot to do with that. I think you, Rebecca, all of you who I wrote, Masha, there was so many of us that were in this circle together saying, you know what? We're all rising together, right? If we have each other's hands, we can't fail. Because if one of us starts feeling wobbly, the others have our hands. Together, we are better, don't you think?
Yes. Yes, and you said this was the 5-star general moment, so here it is.
I agreed, and thank you for being right here on the field with me. I appreciate it. You see my Durga way over there in the corner? You can just kind of see her in the corner there. This is my personal office, and Navratri. Anyway, there she is. Isn't she looking extraordinary up there? And so, yeah, she's kind of peeking over my shoulder now.
Well, I love you, Shri and Kira, and much love to you and Rebecca, and you're doing great work, and let there be love, light, and peace.
Absolutely. And hey, tune in tomorrow night to Rebecca's new show. Rebecca, tell us about your show.
Tell me about
my
show.
Love you,
yeah,
Monica.
Yeah.
Bye, honey.
So yes, the Cosmic Tuna Happy Hour.
I love that name, by the way. It just Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour, and I love your logo. I love the way you look. I love what you're bringing to the Oneness Talk Radio family. I am psyched and stoked for this show.
Oh,
and it's live, guys. This is going to be a live show. Go ahead.
Here we go. And I appreciate the opportunity. Oh my gosh. It was, the moment I
and
had with you.
Welcome back, TFR. All right. Welcome back. So Rebecca, Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour premieres tomorrow night. Tell us the time. Tell us all about it.
So Cosmic premieres at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I got to get used to Pacific time because I'm Eastern. So 5%.
So it's the same time as this show, right? So how perfect is that? Thursday night, Soul Mirrors Be Amazed. Friday night, Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour. Gotta love that lineup. I love it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So it's just talking about what we're talking about tonight is kind of going to be my show, for people that are in the trenches out there, ready to fly, but don't know what to do, to bring on different guests and talk about different subjects, to give them tools to get through this craziness that's going on right now. For people, there's people that have been awake for a while. There's people that are just waking up and, kind of navigating everything. So that's what I wanted to give to them as a place for, and also people to express themselves, to call on, and if they have something to say and share, just to, kind of together, we're together, a place to open up. I'm going to have some fabulous guests coming on that,
give us a few of the names. Yeah, give us, you have some great guests. And check out, go to onenesstalkradio.com, guys. Check out her show page, check out her host page, and all of this is printed there too. But give us a couple of names coming up right away.
I'm just kind of do some people that are on my journey. Debbie DeBacchus, who's a hypnotherapist, international hypnotherapist. Corinne Grillo, the Angel Lady's just launching her new book, 21 Day Experience. Emily Greaves from Mexico, who's just the most fabulous artist, and just her journey is amazing. And then November 1st, I have Steve Noble coming on for the Soul Matrix from England. And then we were going down to Peru to Carlos Tanner to be bringing on about ayahuasca and the fabulous work that they're doing down there in the jungle. So that's awesome. Kind of my so far, and where it goes from there. Really,
well, hey, Rebecca, we just harvested our first San Pedro here, our first big one. And the San Pedro journeys that people have had here have been off the charts, the most loving, sacred, high vibe. This San Pedro is singing. So if you ever want to do a show on how to harvest and prepare San Pedro, I'm your girl. I'm happy to come on and talk about it. So let me know. I would
do that as well.
Yeah, love to do that, because you're going to be here. Maybe we'll broadcast live from Toast of Blue Mountain, because you're going to be back here New Year's Eve.
Yes,
right?
I am.
And this weekend, Sri and I are announcing our live New Year's Eve broadcast this year, which is going to be a live stream on YouTube this year, so that there's no limit on how many people can attend. And you'll be here for that live, so I'm sure you're going to be part of the fun that evening.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. So excited.
Yeah,
so
we are too. Well, should we hop to the phone lines? What do you think?
Love to.
Let's do it. All right. It looks like we're going to go up to Vermont. Hey, Vermont. Namaste. Welcome to the show.
Hey there. This is Kim. How you doing?
Hey, Kim. We're doing great. Such a gift to say hi to you, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you for answering my call. I know this month is pretty much, we have to keep saying yes to our paths. And yesterday, my husband sort of gave me an ultimatum. Your Light Master class that you do for like $100, I do for a week. He's like, it's frivolous. You're being sucked into stuff that's no good for you. You're a sucker. You need to stop this. You spend too much time on your podcasts, or our relationship is going to change. So I just like a mini soul reading. Is it still beneficial for us to stay together, or is it a wake-up call from the universe, a sign saying, okay, it's time to gently transition out of this relationship?
Well, first of all, sweetheart, I just want you to know that I know both Rebecca and I have our arms around you right now, and we are really holding you. And I feel your breath, honey, breathe. I'm losing my breath as I connect with you. So I want you to just first of all, breathe. You know, every one of us, and I know Rebecca as well as myself, every one of us comes to this point on our journey. And the journey you are at, my love, is yes, you know, the universe is tapping on your shoulder. However, it's always our choice. The universe is saying to you that, are you ready to trust yourself more than you trust the experience you're having right now. Remember, we're in a month of experience. So the experience that you're having, how does it make you feel about yourself? When I listen to you share about what's being said to you, I think it's important for you to pay attention to how that makes you feel. Because the choice before you, and I will share with you that you've got all these angels around you. So it doesn't matter what choice you make, you're going to always be supported and guided. So I just want to reassure you of that. But the choice before you is this. You are at a moment where you must choose. Then the universe is saying, I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me. Which way would you like us to support you? Would you like us to support you through what this marriage is or this relationship is? Or do you want us to support you through the next stage of your evolution? You're at that moment where you are standing on the precipice and you must decide. And until you decide, this type of energy will keep you stuck. And Rebecca, is there anything you'd like to share, my love?
Actually, when she was telling her story, my heart was just, I just felt, and I actually just saw her inside of almost like a twister, like a hurricane with a beautiful light coming down. And once again, it's her choice, and that she can take and go out of the eye and open up to where she needs to be, or keep herself stuck in the storm. And so that's what came to me, and it is her choice, and that she has the beauty inside of her to stand forward and take that step to do what's best for her. What does she desire?
Yeah. So Kim, Angel, may you know that you are being supported in all ways. You do have the support of the archangelic realm. The question is, what do you want, honey? Because that's what the universe is saying. The universe is tapping you on the shoulder and just making it very clear what your choices are. And that's a beautiful gift. But once you make your choice, then be happy. You know, isn't in the end what that's really all about is be happy. I will share with you that when I finally made my choice, it was the scariest thing I ever did. And it came with a lot of drama. And the gift was that it left me drama free. So you are at a big moment. We love you. And no matter what your choice is, there's always room for you here at Soul Mirrors. Be amazed, ShriandKira.com. And hey, why not spend your Friday night listening to the Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour? I just had to say that because it makes me smile just to say it. We love you, Kim. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys, so helpful. I love you guys.
No, we love you, honey. Feel my arms around you. I love you. Bye, honey. Bye. Love you, sweetheart. Oh my goodness gracious. How are you doing there? Should we take one more, Rebecca?
Sure.
All right, let's go to Boise, Idaho. Hey, Boise, Idaho. Namaste. Welcome to the show. Turn down your radio, honey.
Hello.
Hi, please turn down your radio. Hi, honey, so we can hear you.
I'm going to right now. I'm all set up. Well, I start to tear up and cry. Okay, Tara, and all. Hi, Sri, too. Oh, I'm calling you from a landline and have my computer on and my cell phone on so I can watch you. And so I wasn't sure how this was going to work. Oh, you were in Boise, Idaho when you and Sri were first a young couple. And you were at Spirit at Work bookstore where my friend Midge Woods had people like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson. And so you have been here where now I've been forced to live or allowed to live since my home in the mountains burned down 3 years ago. Kira, I was the last slot to be able to come to the New Year's event.
Hey, wonderful.
I know, sweetheart. I mean, the first time I stumbled on, as we do these things, you and Kira, you and Sri, I spent so much time trying to find out who's this couple, and then so these last few months I have been with you, and I was the first miracle that I can knowingly say I was a part of, which of course we've all been a part of many, but a part of Shri's miracle.
Oh, thank you.
And now I had a miracle this morning, and it was while Sue was in surgery. I've had for 32 years a tremendous head issue, and where my head swells and with pain, and it moves for 8 to 24 hours. And recently, it has increased. Even I'm on a tremendous program working with parasites and viruses and fungus and with all these natural doctors. And I was making headway. And then it's just this last week, it's all returned, and there's practically no time without it. This morning, I had another episode start. I got up and went to the other room and got my telephone, which was plugged in there. So I took it back to my bed and laid my head down and checked to see if I had an email from you about tonight. And there was your 7 a.m. email. And the next 15 minutes were my miracle, all of ours. I communicated with Sue through my window. The sun was shining right in, and through our sun, our central sun, she healed the head pain that was starting to swirl and deepen, left. And that is what happened. And so I need guidance, because I had a call into Sue, support Sue, which it's not the same Sue, right?
No, honey, it is. It's support Sue.
It is. Okay,
Yes.
Sweet Sue. I called her at 8 o'clock my time last night, and to tell her I need guidance on what to do, because my flights, all I have to do is sign on the dotted line. And but with these head sieges, I cannot even function. My assistant Stacy makes food for me. It's so all encompassing. How can I travel 2 days to you and 2 days back? Okay, what are all you and the divine guides? What is I can't imagine not being there, and yet. And maybe this was the healing.
Exactly. So I'm going to jump in, sweetheart. I really want to jump in. No, thank you.
Yes,
thank you. You're just so beautiful. No, I'm just, Rebecca and I are just both like basking in your beauty, first of all. So
thank you.
No, it's true. It's true. So the first thing, my angel, I want to share with you is look at the gift that happened to you this morning that is outside the mind of the linear. Because as I listen to you, what I see is this extraordinary ascended being and all of this energy up here. And there's all of this linear energy that's still got a hold of your brain. And so that linear energy is actually battling for dominion of your brain. This trip is so symbolic for you. And what happened this morning happened outside of density. You were given a direct response, and they're all clapping. You have like an amazing group. They're all like, yay! And I'm hearing all this thunder and clapping and happiness. And they're saying, how much clearer can we be? All you need to do is stand up and take your rightful place, and everything will just, shoom, it comes right back together. So what I can share with you from personal experience, my angel, and what your beautiful group back here is celebrating. I mean, I feel like I'm in the middle of your party right now, and I'm kind of looking around going, I really had an invitation. I really did. They're all just celebrating right now. And what they're saying is, whatever comes your way is merely a block along the road that you can step over. You just need to remember that it's not real. This is all part of the illusion, because you're getting ready to do this. They keep telling me the profound intersection. Here's exactly what they're saying. I'm just going to say it. They're saying the profound intersection where the worlds will collide, the stars will ignite, and the sun will open is before you. All that seeks to stop you is a remnant of the past. And so it is.
Oh, thank you. Oh, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, my love. Rebecca, did you want to share anything?
The only thing that's coming to me is be the magic of you.
Yeah, I love it. Rock on. Yeah. We love you, Angel. Hey, Rebecca's going to be here at New Year's too. So we're all getting to see each other. It's a sneak preview.
Oh, dear ones.
Namaste. We will see you soon, honey. Mwah. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
I love you.
I love you too, sweetie. Wow, Rebecca, how are you feeling, huh?
I'm feeling great. This is amazing. I'm having so much fun.
Me too. So I'm looking at the time. We still have a little time. I want to talk about, I think that the call we just had, and all of the callers that we've spoken to this evening, this is that pop or drop moment. Yes. Right? And beliefs, that's why I started tonight talking about beliefs. Beliefs are one of the first things we have to pop or drop through, because beliefs are often what is just the culmination of our time and density, are they not? Mm-hmm. And then when we take a belief and you have a dogma that overlays it and makes you feel less than, if you try to go outside that little box, right? That's where the inadvertent spell casting comes in. I think that's where the fourth dimension gets its first jump. Because when we first try to jump out of our box, and I think this is why I know myself, I remember, and let me ask you, I bet you went through, maybe you didn't go through this, maybe you were more courageous than I was, but I remember when I first woke up again. As a child, I was very courageous, but then because of a lot of reasons, I went very deep asleep. But when I woke up again, it was actually my mother, who I'll never forget. She sat, I went to visit her and I was sitting in her room and she was in her bedroom and I was just sitting on her bed. And she looked at me and she said, "But this is all of the devil. I'm very afraid for you." And she was really, really, really just as freaked out as she was when I had been a child having this information. Only now here I am in my 30s trying to have an intelligent conversation, and she could not get outside the belief dogma. And so it did overlay fear in me. And during those early days of, I'm going to call it re-entry, you're always looking for protection. Is this of the highest? Is it of the light? Is it real? And that is because of the very real moment of fourth dimensional influence. That is where most people get hooked and often wind up staying. And so what was your experience?
I kind of had a similar experience with my mother growing up Catholic. And that's just a whole nother ball game we won't get into tonight. But yeah,
that's a show. I was a Catholic for 4 years. I was an Insta-Catholic for 4 years. Go ahead. That's a story.
Anyway, but the same thing, and it's been recently. So as I've been shifting into this new way of being, I've had the opportunity to go up and see my mom, and it was the kind of the same thing of that lock into that dogma to how things are supposed to be, and you can't be outside, and that's not true. And that not accepting of who I was, which would make me doubt myself and be like, no, but this is for me. So yeah, that same thing. And I think that fear comes into play because I really feel the fear is really, as we're moving through these different layers right now, these different dimensions, that fear is like coming up because it's afraid right now, because people are standing at love. So I find for me now, just going out in the world, funny thing, I'm just myself. I say the craziest things to people. I just shed my light and I don't care anymore. So I've really let go of that as best as I can. Not saying I don't get pulled in, because I do.
Well, I want to ask you a question. I ask you a question. So when you said, because I have found myself saying a similar thing, but I want to clarify it. So when you said, I don't care anymore, what I hear you saying, and because I have been saying this myself, is that I am not hiding anymore. What I'm really saying is that, okay, you want to lump your beliefs and your dogma and your spells on me? They can't touch me because I'm really clear. Like what I have discovered is that the ultimate protection, the ultimate the ultimate moment of freedom is when they can't get to you that way anymore, because you are so clear that, and this is not about ego. And this is the part I want to clarify. This is that part that says, in the fifth dimension, and especially up in the seventh dimension, I can hold out my arms even more and love you even more for playing your role so perfectly. And the compassion of knowing how perfect that role is, and that you would have made such a huge sacrifice in this lifetime so that I could be who I am now. It's such an incredible moment of freedom, don't you think?
It is, it is, it is. And I find too, like not having expectations of how people are. It's like
Yeah,
just opening up, thinking of who they are and loving them, even if they're lost or wherever they are, and not having the expectation of you, how you feel their behavior should be towards you. And then knowing that they are doing the best they can with whatever they have.
absolutely.
And I always say, I always feel like it's, we're in a time now of living the clarity and the chaos, of keeping
Mhm.
yourself in that space of clarity with all this chaos going on around you, but keeping yourself in that space of clarity. So it can affect you.
And especially in this month of October, we're in this massive experience of that, and this massive, hey, the universe is tapping your shoulder. So speaking of tapping shoulders, you want to do another caller?
Sure, I'd love to.
All right, let's go to the call board. We're going to go to, I think we're going to Minnesota, MN, US. Where's that? Hi, welcome.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
Wow, I'm so glad I got through. So I basically called in today because I am totally resonating with the tapping on the shoulder, needing to make a big decision kind of thing. Guess I would really like a mini soul reading. Any insight as to how I'm doing or things that I should be doing?
Well, I mean, first of all, my love, I want you to breathe. I got to sit up straight again. Your energy, wow. So yeah, breathe, just breathe. Now, as you're breathing, I first want to share this with you. This huge, I mean, huge golden presence is just like standing behind you right now. And I'm not seeing features. It almost looks like a shield to me. Like it's just this big gold shield, but I know it's actually, it's like an ascent. It feels, they keep calling it a field of ascension. And they're saying that if you just relax, you will fall into the field and you will see it all. But that what is before you right now is really about, are you ready to really do and be that which you already know you are? And that this moment is going to come again if you don't resolve it now. In other words, this is one of those moments before you where you can do this now, or you can hang out for 2.5 more years, and then you're going to have to do something else again. So it's really,
yes, you know, so spot on.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. It's you. It's this beautiful golden shield, honey. And so here's what I want you to hear. This shield is freaking stunning. I mean, it's beautiful. It's big and it has like this really pretty ornate energy. And the more that I'm connecting with it, I feel like I'm just dissolving into it and that I'm becoming this golden energy. And they're saying that you are ready to wield that much. All you need to do is remember the truth of who you are. And so, yeah, Angel, the universe is tapping on your shoulder. And I think the fact that you got through tonight when we have a very full call board is absolutely not an accident, because you're our last caller we're able to take tonight. So this is your first miracle.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Rebecca, did you want to share anything, honey?
Just sweet sister, just stay in your heart and shine.
Yeah, love it. We love you, Angel. Thank you for calling in. Thank you, honey. Mwah.
Thank you.
We love you, honey. Namaste.
Love you too.
Namaste. So Rebecca, let's dive in here. So one of the things that I found fascinating in that conversation I mentioned to you earlier was that consider how many well-intentioned yet astrally influenced people are actually spell casting through the manipulated energy of spiritualized dogma. I mean, really take that in. And then it does bring you to the fine line of, well, how is that different from declaring I am presence? And so how would you define that?
I would define it as, I keep on just coming back to the story. Actually, I had an experience of that spell casting on last week. And that's just what kept on coming back to me on you know, where have we put ourselves in that, where we've casted all these things onto other people? It was a situation with someone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I said to that person, now that person's living that, did I cast that on to that person? So it's like,
Or how about a medical diagnosis, right?
Yeah, like where how magic, like it's just that space of what we truly are and the creation of, and how just astronomically powerful and I don't want to say powerful, but in that presence of, yeah, you know, it's just magic just keeps on coming to me, to stay in that space of that we can open up and really be very present with what you say, what you think, what your thoughts are, because they do create what goes out in the world. Yes.
And for me, you know, I love what you're saying. And I thank you, because I know I kind of threw that at you because I've been pondering it. And what I've come to is, I think the difference is the discernment of the intention. In other words, spell casting, you know, literally at its basis, you know, a doctor casts a spell that you have cancer. What are you going to do with that spell? Right? Or as you know, especially since I have Ascended Numerology soul charting coming up next week, one of my pet peeves is random people who will just tell you anything they think they see around you. That is spell casting, well intended, but without discernment. And so as I've been weaving it and I look at it, when we consciously call forward our ascended I am presence, we have to stop. We can't just randomly do it. It demands presence. And it demands sincerity. And versus random verbal energies that are just being thrown around really are nothing more than astral spell casting wrapped in dogma and get in due to a belief system. So how do we break free, really? And that's really where I wanted to bring this show to. And I can't believe we have like 30 seconds left. We break free by saying yes to ourselves, right? So in our 30 seconds, Rebecca, how do we say yes to Rebecca? How do we find you? Tell us about your show. What time can we tune in tomorrow?
Tune in tomorrow on Oneness Talk Radio. So, and it's at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And if you need to check my website out, it's RebeccaGregory.com. I'm also on Facebook. And I did start an Instagram account, the Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour, but don't know how far that is. So we're getting into the social media thing. So it'll all coming together.
Oh, yes, it will. And I want to thank you for being a fabulous co-host. I'm excited. I will be tuning in tomorrow night for Cosmic Tune-Up Happy Hour. And to all of you out there, as we are navigating this month, hey, make sure you join Sri and I this weekend, where we're going to start revealing some of the 2020 predictions because they apply to this month. We love you dearly. Thank you for being with us. And may your heart know that all is truly well. Namaste, beloved ones. Namaste. Mwah. Bye-bye.